The unforgiving African sun beats down without mercy. A heavy, suffocating heat distorts the dry horizon. Dust devils dance wildly across the cracked earth. In this desolate wasteland, water is a rare luxury. But there are tortures far worse than raging thirst. Emerging from the thick, thorny acacia scrub brush is a massive, heavily battle-scarred warthog. He is a walking, armored tank of the harsh savanna, armed with lethal, incredibly razor-sharp tusks. He has survived lions, aggressive leopards, and drought. But today, brute strength cannot possibly save him. He is slowly losing a war to an invisible enemy. An enemy that is eating him alive, drop by drop. Look closer at his thick, leathery, dark gray hide. The closer you look, the more your skin begins to crawl. His massive, heavy body is a trypophobic nightmare. Thousands of engorged, deeply pulsing parasites, clustered tightly in horrific, impossibly dense hives. They are packed thickly around his dark, watery eyes. They form a squirming, vile collar around his thick neck. Massive, blood-bloated ticks easily the size of grapes. Buried deep inside the dark, echoing cavern of his ears,
colony of parasites deep in the
a terrifying, bubbling carpet of grotesque gray sacs. Embedded
beneath the hide
so
spasm,
deeply,
the dry skin
they look
cracks,
like rotting,
a painful
dead
reminder
flesh.
of the parasite's grip.
The sheer, unimaginable volume of them is suffocating. They drain his precious life force with every heartbeat. The warthog violently and repeatedly shakes his head. He drags his heavy body against a rough acacia trunk, scraping off skin and hard bark in pure desperation. But their barbed, cruel jaws are locked entirely too tight. The maddening, ceaseless itch is driving him fully insane. He lets out a hollow, deeply agonizing grunt of defeat. He is a helpless prisoner trapped inside his own skin, slowly bleeding out under the scorching, merciless sun. But in wild Africa, absolutely every resource is exploited. Where there is an abundance of rich, warm, pulsing blood, there is always a fierce predator waiting to feast. A high-pitched, aggressive chattering sound fills the air. Dozens of sleek, incredibly slender shadows emerge, moving rapidly through the tall, bone-dry yellow grass. It is a highly organized squad of banded mongooses. Tiny, totally fearless, and aggressively, violently hungry. To a leopard, they are nothing but a very quick snack. To the intensely suffering warthog, they are salvation. The warthog sees the swarming, loud pack approaching. He does not run away. He does not attempt to charge them. Instead, the massive beast does the truly unthinkable. He slowly and deliberately lowers his heavy tusked head. He folds his muscular front legs into the hot red dust. He completely surrenders his massive, powerful body, laying completely flat on his side in the baking dirt. opening the doors to the fearless doctors of the desert. The tiny, aggressive mongooses do not hesitate for a second. They swarm the fallen giant like a ravenous, wild army, climbing directly onto his deeply parasite-ridden face. The delicate operation begins, and it is incredibly violent. The mongooses are equipped with highly razor-sharp teeth, designed specifically to crush incredibly hard beetle shells. Now, those lethal teeth are turned on the bloodsuckers. A mongoose locks onto a massive, deeply swollen tick, buried deeply on the highly sensitive rim of his eyelid. It plants its tiny paws directly on the giant's face and pulls backward with absolutely unbelievable ferocity. The stubborn tick is ripped violently from the raw flesh. The engorged sac pops heavily like a blood-filled balloon. The mongoose swallows it whole, instantly hungry for more. Snap, tear, crunch. The harvest is shockingly brutal. The speed of this ruthless biological harvest is staggering. Over 10 mongooses are working furiously simultaneously, scouring the deeply trypophobic nightmare of his tough skin, digging aggressively into the dense, squirming, fleshy clusters, uprooting the vile parasites one by excruciating, violent one. One mongoose dives completely inside the warthog's large ear. A dark, suffocating tunnel filled with squirming horrors. It bites down hard and fiercely, yanks out the vile invaders. The massive giant beast does not even flinch in deep pain. He happily leans his heavy head much further into the dirt. His eyes roll far back in a state of pure, complete euphoria. The excruciating pain of the incredibly violent extractions is entirely eclipsed by an overwhelming, intoxicating relief. The relentless, deeply aggressive biological purge continues. The mongooses violently target the deeply embedded clusters, leaving behind raw, gaping red holes in the thick gray hide. A trypophobic, terrifying canvas of empty, bleeding craters. But these open wounds mean absolute, unadulterated freedom. The suffocating, vile carpet of gray is rapidly vanishing. The mongooses are aggressively chewing through the infestation, their tiny, stretched stomachs bulging with the bloody feast. They have violently consumed hundreds of massive, gray ticks, gorging themselves happily on the giant's living nightmare. For 30 intense minutes, the brutal,
These two brothers
strange
rely on
surgery
pure
lasts,
speed in the golden hour.
systematically dismantling the entire parasitic, invading army. Until
But then,
finally,
a sudden
the
halt.
ravenous,
The
wild
pack senses
frenzy
something is
begins
wrong,
to slowly
freezing in
fade.
unison against the hunt.
The tiny, fearless predators are completely stuffed and heavy. They let out a few deeply satisfied, incredibly lazy chirps, and slowly hop down from the great, massively relieved beast, fading quietly back into the camouflage of the tall, dry grass. The warthog lies completely motionless for a very long moment, deeply savoring the total absence of the maddening, fierce itch. The crawling, completely suffocating agony has been eradicated. He slowly rises back up onto his incredibly powerful stout legs. His thick hide is heavily dotted with small, fresh drops of blood. But his dark eyes are clear, highly focused, and totally revitalized. He shakes his massive, deeply armored body incredibly vigorously, sending a thick, massive cloud of red dust into the hot, dry air. He is completely, totally reborn, ready to fiercely fight another day. This is the highly profound, deeply twisted genius of wild nature. In a world entirely defined by brutal, unforgiving, ruthless cruelty, Survival is deeply, intricately bound by highly bizarre alliances. The massive giant provides the desperately needed bloody feast. The tiny, fearless warriors provide the ultimate violent cure. A brutal, deeply beautiful symbiosis of unyielding wild survival. Forged heavily in blood and perfected entirely by pure instinct. Played out relentlessly every single day under the unforgiving sun.